for those who don't know me, my name is Hector Diaz. For those who know me, my name is still Hector Diaz. And I'm here to talk about geeks. Geek. I stand here and I chose the topic about geeks because 4 years ago, I came into freshman year thinking, I want to be a cool kid. I want to be an athlete. I don't want to relate to outcasts. I don't want to be different. As the years progressed and as the pandemic happened, I did a lot of self-reflection. And it took me a while to realize I'm a geek. But it wasn't like, I'm a geek. It was more like I'm a geek. And that's cool. And I feel like if all the geeks in this room and all over the world were like, yo, I'm a geek, that's cool, we could make the world a much better place. Now, to start off, what are geeks? Well, if you search it up, what are geeks or geek, you see that they're just people who specialize and are good with computers. But as pop culture has shown us, that's not what a geek is nowadays. A geek is someone who nerds out and knows a lot about a specific topic, or a lot of topics. Now, my geekdom, as I like to call it, starts off with one thing. Something from a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars is one of my favorite passions, as my brother knows, as my sister knows. They know I love Star Wars. But it didn't just end there. It then evolved to anime. I love anime. I breathe anime. And I can say that and not be embarrassed anymore. Not like 4 years ago where I was hiding that and didn't want people to know that. The more I became open to show it, the more I saw people feel more comfortable to show it as well. The more talks I was able to hold with it, the more debates, if you will, I was able to have with people. But not only anime and Star Wars, but with Marvel, with DC. You can geek about anything you want. And what's amazing is that you can talk about it with anyone you'd like. Well, more specifically, other geeks. I could have debates about why Batman is a better superhero than Superman. Why Marvel isn't as good as DC, though. And I can tell by the little reactions that some agree and some might disagree. But that's amazing. I'm glad I can have that reaction. Because that means that some of you are here, are geeks. And I hope all of y'all can accept that. Now, the growth of geeks didn't just start with me, or is it going to end with me? Because it started a long, long time ago. And for the past decade, we have had movies reveal that 3 out of the top 5 most grossing movies are because of geeks, being Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. These movies have made billions and billions of dollars. And if I could get like 1% of those, hope they see this and they sponsor like, oh yes, let's have some money to this kid. I really appreciate that. But that shows the power that geeks control, the power that they have. Because we love these type of things so much, we can expand it and it's worldwide now. Movies of anime have come to the United States and have blown the box office. Hopefully more come in the future, and it just shows how much geekdom has revolved all over the world. And hopefully it doesn't just stop there, maybe in another galaxy far, far away or reach. Now, I'm glad to be here and show why being called a geek isn't an insult anymore. It isn't like in Family Guy or in any other show where it's like, oh, look at this nerd, look at this geek. It's more like, look at this guy who has knowledge about this topic, about the MCU, about DC, about comics, about anime, whatever it is. He knows his stuff, and that is amazing. It's kind of like when you see someone that's smart with math, you're like, whoa, this guy is smart. Some kid who comes up here in the spelling bee is like, knows how to spell iridocyclitis. I can barely pronounce that word, and some kid can spell it word for word, letter for letter, sorry, and it's amazing. Now, the more I see why being called a geek isn't an insult anymore, the more I become accepted of it, and I even shared that excitement and feeling with my family. Recently, the new season of Stranger Things dropped. Now, I love murder, I love Stranger Things, don't worry, spoiler free, I'm not going to say anything, but my father came from work one day, he just came and laid down on the couch. He saw me watching Stranger Things. My dad is a guy that sleeps during movies. He snores. We go to a movie theater. If you have a Marvel, or like the best movie Marvel could produce, he knocked out. But when it came to Stranger Things, he's never watched any season prior, yet he was hooked. He asked me every question. You know, for my Hispanics out there, when you have a mom or an aunt watching a movie with you, they'll ask every question before it even happens. Just watch the movie or watch the film. My dad was like, "Who's this? What happened? Why is this person like crazy or dying or dead?" I was like, "Okay, I'll explain." And I explained it. He was just like, "Now I can't watch an episode without him being in the living room." That's why I still haven't finished it. But memories like that, it makes me proud of being a geek. And I'm close with my dad. I love my dad. My dad is my hero. And for those who may not have that, they could be lucky to have this experience with anyone. It doesn't have to be a dad. It could be another geek. So now I can say that my 40-year-old something dad is a geek. And he might not know it, but I'm sure he'll eventually accept it. So, as I conclude about being a geek and how much I've talked and rambled about it, all of you have listened and seen how cool it is to be a geek. So, here's what I leave off with. I'm a huge geek. Not only starts, with Star Wars, and not only will it end with it, but we can change the world. And I'm happy, and I can say I'm positively changing the world by being a geek. Thank you for coming to my